Hello and welcome to They Say. My name is Allison McFarland, founder and CEO of Allison McFarland Inc., your personal branding expert. And I am so excited to have this legend on They Say. I have been waiting. She's laughing, but it's the truth. I have been waiting on her. I was hoping the weather here in Houston would behave so we could get on here and really have a good conversation. But Jennifer is someone I deeply admire. She's well respected in the community here. She is the master networker, master strategist, master of bringing all good things together. She has a way about her of really being able to synergize people and know who goes together. It's like puzzles. She's really good at that. So I'm excited to have her on. They Say I'm grateful she said yes. I pray that the weather behaves so we can actually get through this conversation because it's going to be impactful. So Jennifer, welcome and thank you.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even pay you to say that. Thank you so much for your kind words. That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Yes, no problem, no problem. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, because you are the queen of networking.
Well, I do love networking. My passion is connecting, putting mostly small businesses together. That's my primary focus. I really think there's a need out there. We mentioned this before, we're just kind of traveling out there, and to be able to put people together and make it meaningful and help people grow, it's such an honor to be able to do that, because I'm out and about all day. People are busy working. They don't have time for this. So I'm out there making connections, and I really do love helping people grow. It is a true passion of mine.
Yes, it really is. And I'm that's why I was like, I have to have you on here, because like you just said, people are just kind of out here going to different networking events with no strategy. And one of the worst things to do is to network continuously with no strategy. So how did you develop such a strategic plan when it came to networking?
Well, I'm twofold. So I network to build my groups, and I also network, more importantly, to make introductions for people in my groups. So that's a different kind of attack, if you will. So if I'm networking for people in my groups, I like to go to luncheons, I like to go to breakfasts, I like to go to anywhere where people can converge together and with an open mind to business. That's very helpful as well.
Okay, so you have a very unconventional background, and I think that's the point of They Say. Like, I love having people on here whose background is just not so cookie cutter. You were in corporate, you were in that real estate space. You're like, you realize that wasn't really for you. So talk to us about that space and then networking out of that space so that you could start this new space that you're truly passionate about.
Well, I worked in television for 20 years. That was really fun, but I was young. And then I did corporate for 10 years. And I turned 50 and I'm like, well, okay, how can I help people? How can I bring people together? And so I decided to get my real estate license. But I love the helping people part. I just didn't have the stomach for it, because I just want people to be happy and to be satisfied and to be pleased. And I just want people to be happy. And real estate is really a much tougher business than it appears. But I did love the networking part about it. I was out all day long trying to drum up clients for myself, but also I found a knack of introducing people who really could help each other, like randomly, because I was out there. Because that's how you build your client base if you're a realtor. And I decided, my mom got really sick and I put everything on hold. She's better now.
Oh, good.
And I'm like, what do I want to do? Because the real estate game is not fulfilling. So then this opportunity came to be a professional networker, professional connector, and I took it, and I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun, hard work, but fun.
Okay, so talk to us about this. So as a professional networker, because I feel like that is your part of your brand. So let's talk about your brand, Jen, because I think you have one of the most pleasant personalities and it's consistent. And I can appreciate that about you, because me and you have served together. We have had lunch together. We've done many things together. But one thing I can say and I appreciate about you is wherever I am and whatever I'm doing with you, there's a consistent smile, there's consistent happiness, and there's consistent joy, regardless of how chaotic the situation is. So I can appreciate that. So let's kind of talk about your brand, because I think your brand, what does your brand represent to you?
I know it's touchy feely, and again, thank you for the kind words. My husband would be laughing out loud if he could hear you, because because you don't have to live with me. But I everything is based on kindness, love, and support. And I know it's touchy feely. I know, I get it. But if you go with those three things, you lead with those three things, you can really empower people. You can help people. You can change lives. Love, kindness, and support.
Yes.
That's just what I think about when I'm driving out of the driveway in the morning. Who can I help today? Who can I support today? Who can I help make a difference for? And that's, I mean, it's just, but it's slight, and it's just a great position to be in. And I think if we all kind of led with that love, kindness, and support, I think the world would be a much happier place. And I don't mean to be Pollyanna about it or touchy-feely, but I do, that is my mantra. And some days are better than others. Some days those are hard, easier to remember than not. But I do love with kindness and support, bottom line.
So I can attest to that. As long as I've known you, I can honestly say I'm pretty sure everything is not smiling and happy, but like I said, you're consistent. So I can, as someone who deals with people and also leads with her heart, I appreciate people that are like that. And most people probably don't even realize I do lead with my heart, because it seems like I'm so focused, but I am definitely a servant leader, and I lead with my heart. So I tend to be, I think because of that, you tend to get your feelings hurt when you kind of lead with your heart and you're a servant leader. So you got to really be careful to manage your expectations and the people, so that you understand that it's not about you and not to take things personally. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and that's exactly why real estate wasn't very good, because I took everything personally, and it's just very tense. And I was like, oh no. So, but yeah, I think so. But you really have to remember, this is not about you. This is how you're going to help somebody. This is how it's all about timing and what the need is. And if it's not right this second, then it will be later. So just keep your heart open, and the time will find itself. And I don't know, the universe works in wonderful ways.
I love it. I love it. So now that we've got through your brand, let's go back to the core of networking. Like, I want you to just break this down for us. I want this to be like a jam-packed conversation about really the tools of what successful networking looks like, especially for entrepreneurs, because I love that that's who you focus on.
Yeah, it's I always try to lead with, if you're going to a networking event, this is not about you. You are not there about you. You are there to help somebody. And I think that's, first of all, it gives you a servant's heart. And second of all, it takes the pressure off of you. If you're going to a networking event, you're like, oh my gosh, what do I say? I don't know where to go. Where do I stand? Who do I talk to? Go in there with the mindset that I'm going to help one person today. It changes the dynamic. It makes you go, I don't have to be scared going into this place where I don't know anybody.
Yes.
And there are some tricks that, if you don't know anybody, there are some tricks that I use even.
Yeah.
So it's just, who can I help today? How can I be of service? And that really just kind of breaks down all barriers, because you're not there selling anything. You're just trying to help somebody. Does that make sense?
I think that's powerful. So let's talk about why you don't sell the first time you meet somebody when you network. I think that's something that's fundamental, but we need to talk about it.
You are building a relationship. Business is about relationships, who you can trust, and who you like, and who you really can build a rapport with. You are not going to make a deal at a networking event. I'm sorry. It just doesn't happen.
No.
And if it does, great. And that's the only time it's going to happen.
I need to get you on the show.
What?
If you're making deals at networking events, I need to have you on They Say, so you can tell us your secret.
Yeah, because it just doesn't work. You're building relationships, and so people can like you and trust you, and just getting yourself out there, and giving people what you have to offer and how you can help them. If you turn it around, I'm going to help, then people are more open to having conversations and more relaxed, actually. So they're not on guard, because anytime you come with somebody, oh my God, well, I got this new product. It's like, whoa. I'm just here having a beer. Calm down.
I don't even know your name. What product do you have?
Yeah. Take a deep breath and go in. How can you help somebody?
That's funny, but that's so true. So when you say that, what would you say is a key element or tool you look for to know where to go to network? Like, what should you look for? There's so many options out here. There's a new networking thing, at least 5 things a day. So how do we know where to go?
Fine. And it may take some experimentation, may take some trial and error, and just don't do it once, because you need to try something at least a couple of times. Just because you don't know who the crowd is and you're getting your feet wet and your bearings, go where your customers are.
Okay.
And where you feel the most comfortable. We were talking before, I'm an extrovert, but these big events, I'm lost. I like a more 50 people. That's more comfortable. 25, 50 people. That's much easier for me than something with 200.
So talk more about why the big events are not as impactful in your eyes when it comes to networking.
I think if it's a bigger event, I think people tend to go together, and they're not as open to having conversations. And it's great to be able to get together with colleagues and friends and share. But I think those are more, I don't want to say closed off, but I think they're more tight. If it's a corporate event, tables are going to go together and sit together, and that's where they're going to be. So, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I just don't think might be the best networking opportunity.
So here's the good thing. We can give 2 different opinions. So I am not an extrovert. I am definitely an introvert. Like, I am like, hello, welcome world, everybody. I love everyone. So I am not that way. And because I'm not that way, I think I just love people. So I can network in 2 people to thousands of people. I will figure out a way to connect with somebody. But I understand that even though I am that way, I always get pulled in many directions. So people that tend to be very people oriented and have a heart for people, we tend to get pulled in a lot of directions. So our time is very limited in that networking space. Whereas someone like you, Jen, you're good at really honing in and kind of pulling out those key pieces that you can draw from to start building that relationship. Where I can do that, but it's not necessary. I got maybe 3, 5, maybe 2 good minutes before I have to go. So as much in to know about you, and don't think I won't remember. And that's the good part. Don't think I won't remember. But I try to get at least 2 to 5, like maybe 2 good minutes in where I could get a good understanding, enough to remember that when we do connect again, it will be impactful. When I send you a follow-up message, I will remember exactly who you are. And I think that's what we fail to realize and do when we do network, the importance of following up.
Oh my God, don't even get me started on that. Everything is in the follow-up, because you're not going to spend a lot of time with somebody in an event. They're busy, you're busy, you're there to make some contacts. But yes, follow up. Do not wait for them. Send them an email. I'm not a big text person. I prefer email or a phone call.
Yes.
And if I call somebody, then I send an email. So.
No, that's really good advice, because most people just stop at an email. But let's say there was a firewall and your email might have got blocked. Let's say they didn't see it. Let's say they're getting thousands of emails and your email didn't go through. So I love the fact that you follow up with a phone call.
Yeah, just say, hey, great meeting you, great seeing you. I sent you an email, don't want to bug you. It may have landed in spam jail. Looking forward to reconnecting. I'd love to continue our conversation about blank, blank, blank.
And see, I think that's powerful, right? Because people will remember, wow, you know what? She called me and she remembered what we talked about. And to me, because when you do meet so many people, when you're networking, you want to stand out. You want to stand out. You want to be a memorable connection, but not giving too much of your life story in 2 seconds, but memorable enough that that person will be like, oh my gosh, you know what? I will not forget you. So how do you make yourself memorable?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I try to listen. I try to ask questions. I try to be in the moment and not thinking or looking past them, who else is in the room, just being in that moment, my full attention onto that particular person. And again, it doesn't have to be 10 minutes. So, because everybody's busy. And so, and there's some tips and tricks. There we go.
Okay.
It's about meeting people and moving the room and getting all that stuff.
So where do they go to find this, Jennifer? Because you're out here dropping gems.
Oh, what the tips and tricks are. One of my favorites is, if you're at an event and you're feeling overwhelmed and you've still said to yourself, how can I help somebody? Go stand next to the person standing by themselves because they need someone to talk to and they will love you. Yep. If you come over and say, hi, my name is Jennifer. How are you? What brings you here today? And then there you go. The conversation is good.
That's perfect.
It starts and ask questions, really listen and ask follow-up questions. One of my favorite questions is, well, who's a good referral for you? They'll tell me what they'll tell about your business. Oh, well, would you like to meet a blankety blank? Oh, sure. That'd be great. So then you're providing a service to them.
So then my question for you is, how do we handle gatekeepers when you're networking, trying to get to that prime target? How do you handle that gatekeeper or that handler of that person that you're trying to get to? And for those that probably don't understand, maybe break that down a little bit more.
Well, I don't know. You mean like a decision maker that's not?
Yeah. So let's say, because it's not always easy to get to the decision maker. You do have to go through a couple steps. So how do you cultivate those relationships with those people who are close to the decision maker so that you could actually get to the actual decision maker?
That's a good question. I've never been asked that before. I think it's being consistent, being friendly, being open. Hey, I know you're in this business. And I don't really like to say who's the decision maker, because then you're kind of squashing them. It's like, well, I'm just trying to get beyond you.
Right.
Or invite for coffee. Hey, would you and blankety blank like to meet for a cup of coffee or a Zoom call? I would love to get to know you better. And it's a relationship. And even if you got to meet that person first a couple of times, then you just are persistent, because once they like you, they'll introduce you to the people you need to know.
That was good. That was really good. I agree with that. And I just would add that treat everybody the same. Nobody has more value than the next person. Right. I think oftentimes we kind of look past people to get to that next person. And I think you touched on that. But really be intentional and be present, like you said, and be engaged, because you never know. The gatekeeper is really the person that's closest to that decision maker, and they also influence decisions. So just being cognizant that that person is of value, even if you don't think they are valuable. So just really engaging and holding true to that, and understanding that they are valuable.
Everybody is, because you don't know who they know, and you don't know who they know who they know. It's just so be nice to everybody. That just just be nice.
I love it. Jennifer, you made it simple. Be nice to everybody. So Jennifer, I know you have your network in action, right? Talk to us about that. Like how does one join? Who are you looking for? Why is network in action a good tool?
Network in Action is a franchise, and I own two groups, NIA River Oaks and NIA Garden Oaks Oak Forest. And I know it's touchy-feely, but my groups, they're industry exclusive, so there's only one person per category. It helps build a referral base. But it is a group of like-minded people who it's built on kindness, love, and support. We are there to help each other grow. We are here to support each other. We're here to answer questions, overcome a challenge. This is a community of people. It's like a mastermind referral community all rolled into one. And they're really there to help you grow. Bottom line.
I love it. I love it. And I think that's helpful, to be in a safe space where you can learn, grow, build your knowledge base, become that trusted person in the community. So I think that's awesome. So besides Network in Action, what other sources of networking do you do?
Chambers are good. We're in the Women's Chamber together. That is a very good organization. I've never heard one bit of gossip in the Women's Chamber. I've been an ambassador, I guess, 5 years, and they have a lot of opportunities, a lot of growth potential. Just got to get out there. That's the power is in follow up and showing up. You got to show up.
You said a mouthful right there. So let's talk about the power of showing up and following up. We talked a little bit about the follow up with emails and a phone call. Talk to me more about, what does showing up look like? I went once. Is that not enough? I maybe go twice. Is that not enough?
You have to, even if you don't want to, and you're like, oh, I could go home and drink some wine and put on my jammies, just show up. And it really, because you never know who you're going to meet, you never know what they're going to need, you never know what's going to happen. And until you show up, you're wasting opportunity. And even if you don't feel like it, just go, 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 go. You're going to meet a great person. Every single time you show up, you're going to meet a great person. Whether you can help them now or later or down the road, it doesn't matter. You're going to meet someone super that you wouldn't have met in your office drinking wine.
That is so true. And something I like that you said is to just kind of hone back on is the importance of building relationships. I feel so often we're in such like a microwave instant gratification society that people don't understand that some things take time, and relationships are the key that turns the door to the opportunity that you're looking for. So really cultivating and taking those times to build out those relationships.
Yeah, and how can you serve people? That takes the whole edge off. And really, it is you're there to get to know people and help people. So.
I love it. I love it. So Jennifer, how do we keep in contact with you? Where do we find you? How do we get to know you even better? Like, tell us.
Well, I do. If you do not feel like going to a networking event and you're kind of shy, give me a call. I will go with you. It'll be super fun. But we cannot hang out the whole time together. I'm going to kick you out. You got to go meet people.
Good. So you're going to get trained networking in action from we love it. We love it. Yeah. We love it. That's awesome. Yes, that is so awesome. So Jennifer, my last question for you is, besides the network in action, what about virtual networking? Do you do any type of virtual networking?
I personally do. I hold a speed networking event once a month. It's super fun, very fast. I mean, you're in a I call them random rooms. You're in a breakout room for 6 minutes with one person, and that goes by fast. Yeah. So then you're just switching. And again, it's all in the follow-up because you don't have a lot of time in a speed networking event to get to know each other. Well, but I hop on.
So what is speed networking for us that don't know?
It's like speed dating, but for businesses. You get into a breakout room with somebody for a couple minutes, you get their name, and it's just about meeting as many people as you can in a short amount of time. And then then you follow up, and that's where you get to know them better.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I just want to thank you for your time, energy, resources. The sky is about to fall here in Houston. The sky is opening up, and we're just happy. So I don't want to take too much of our time, but I definitely wanted us to have this conversation because I do admire and love and appreciate what you do. And I think that networking and getting around the right people to kind of facilitate the connectivity, the networking, those strategic alliances, it is only that much more powerful for your brand. So how do we follow you and how do we find you?
Well, my website is jenniferjnia.com, and email is jennifer@jenniferjnia.com. It's very easy. And those are the best ways to reach me.
Awesome. Well, any parting words, Miss Jen? It's on you.
Oh, get out there and go meet people, and you're never going to regret it. Ever, ever, ever. You're never going to regret going somewhere. And just remember, it's not about you. You're there to serve people. And if you get really nervous, go stand next to the snacks, because that's where everybody goes. Watch. That'll be like, oh, hey, because people kind of trail around the snacks, and you'll meet people.
That is powerful advice. So the advice today is get out there and network, build relationships, become someone that people know, like, and trust, and get around the snacks.
Yeah, no, it's
nice. I couldn't have said it better myself. So thank you so much for watching this networking, speed networking, They Say episode, and just really please connect with Jennifer. I feel like if you don't connect with somebody that is passionate about networking and just bringing people together, that makes your job a lot easier as a consumer, as an entrepreneur, and just as a person. It makes your job a lot easier because people that pride themselves in bringing people together, they're very intentional. So that takes all the guessing work out of who I need to know and who I don't need to know. She will know. So definitely connect with her. She is a legend in these Houston streets. So I'm honored she said yes.
Oh, well, you're very sweet. Thank you. I love this. Thank
Oh,
you. You're very sweet.
okay, we'll have to have you back, and then we'll figure out what to talk about next time.
I'm game.
Well, thank you guys, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Yes, great rest of your day, and thank you for watching. They Say. Bye.
Thank you so much.